Hi children, good morning, welcome to today's social science class. In this video, I am going to explain about History Chapter 4, what books and burials tell us. One of the oldest books in the world. You may have heard about the Vedas. There are four of them: the Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. The oldest Veda is the Rigveda, composed about 3500 years ago. The Rigveda includes more than 1,000 hymns called Sukta or well said. These hymns are in praise of various gods and goddesses. Three gods are especially important: Agni, the god of fire; Indra, a warrior god; and Soma, a plant from which a special drink was prepared. These hymns were composed by sages, rishis. Priests taught students to recite and memorize each syllable, word, and sentence bit by bit with great care. Most of the hymns were composed, taught, and learned by men. A few were composed by women. The Rig Veda is in Old or Vedic Sanskrit, which is different from the Sanskrit you learn in school these days. The books we use are written and printed. The Rigveda was recited and heard rather than read. It was written down several centuries after it was first composed and printed less than 200 years ago. A page from a manuscript of the Rigveda. This manuscript of the Rigveda on bridge back was found in Kashmir about 150 years ago. It was used to prepare one of the earliest printed texts of the Rigveda as well as an English translation. It is now preserved in a library in Pune, Maharashtra. How historians study the Rigveda? Historians, like archaeologists, find out about the past, but in addition to material remains, they examine written sources as well. Let us see how they study the Rigveda. Some of the hymns in the Rigveda are in the form of dialogues. This is part of one such hymn, a dialogue between a sage named Vishwamitra and two rivers, Bias and Satluj, that were worshipped as goddesses. Vishwamitra and the rivers. Vishwamitra, O rivers, come down from the mountains like two swift horses, like two shining cows that lick their cows. You move like chariots to the sea, through the power of Indra. You are full of water and wish to unite with one another. The rivers. We who are full of water move along the path the gods have made for us. Once we start flowing, we cannot be stopped. Why do you pray to us, O sage? Vishwamitra. O sisters, please listen to me. The singer who has come from a distance with his chariots and carts, let your waters not rise above our axis so that we can cross safely. The rivers. We will listen to your prayers so that you can cross safely. Historians point out that this hymn was composed in the areas where these rivers flow. They also suggest that the sage lived in a society where horse and cows were valued animals. That is why the rivers are compared to horses and cows. Other rivers, especially the Indus and its other tributaries, and the Saraswati, are also named in the hymns. The Ganga and Yamuna are named only once. Cattle, horse, and chariots. There are many prayers in the Rigveda for cattle, children, especially sons, and horses were yoked chariots that were used in battles, which were fought to capture cattle. Battles were also fought for land, which was important for pasture, and for growing hardly crops that repent quickly, such as barley. Some battles were fought for water and to capture people. Some of the wealth that was obtained was kept by the leaders, some was given to the priest, and the rest was distributed amongst the people. Some wealth was used for the performance of yajnas or sacrifices, in which offerings were made into the fire. These were meant for gods and goddesses. Offerings could include ghee, grain, and in some cases animals. Most men took part in these wars. There was no regular army, but there were assemblies where people met and discussed matters of war and peace. They also chose leaders who were often brave and skillful warriors. Okay, children, I'm going to wind up this video. Now you have to read this portion and underline important points, then to given marks. Thank you. Thank you to listening my class.